from the Worcester FFA chapter, and I will be singing the national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
The convention hall will come to order. We are now holding the 4th general session of the 96th New York State FFA Convention. Madam Vice President, are all officers at their stations?
I shall call the roll of officers and report back to you, Mr. President. The Sentinel.
Stationed by the door.
Your duties there?
Through this door pass many friends of the FFA. It is my duty to see that the door is open to our friends at all times and that they are welcome. I care for the meeting room and paraphernalia. I strive to keep the meeting room comfortable and assist the President in maintaining order.
The Reporter.
Stationed by the flag.
Why by the flag?
As the flag covers the United States of America, so I strive to inform the people that every man, woman, and child may know that the FFA is a national organization that reaches from the state of Alaska to the Virgin Islands and from the state of Maine to Hawaii.
The Treasurer.
Stationed by the emblem of Washington.
Your duties there?
I keep a record of receipts and disbursements just as Washington kept his farm accounts, carefully and accurately. I encourage thrift among the members and strive to build up our financial standing through savings and investments. George Washington was better able to serve his country because he was financially independent.
The Secretary.
Stationed by the ear of corn.
Your duties there?
I keep an accurate record of all meetings and correspond with other secretaries wherever corn is grown and FFA members meet.
The Advisor.
Here by the owl.
Why by the owl?
The owl is a time-honored emblem of knowledge and wisdom. Being older than the rest of you, I'm asked to advise you from time to time as the need arises. I hope that my advice will always be based on true knowledge and ripened with wisdom. Madam Vice President, why do you keep a plow at your station?
The plow is a symbol of labor and tillage of the soil. Without labor, neither knowledge nor wisdom can accomplish much. My duties require me to assist at all times in directing the work of our organization. I preside over meetings in the absence of our president, whose place is beneath the rising sun.
Why is the president so stationed?
The rising sun is a token of a new era in agriculture. If we will follow the leadership of our president, we shall be led out of the darkness of selfishness and into the glorious sunlight of brotherhood and cooperation. Mr. President, all officers are at their stations.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. The Secretary will call the roll of members.
There are 2,006 members and guests in attendance, Mr. President.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. FFA members, why are we here? To practice brotherhood, honor agricultural opportunities and responsibilities, and develop those qualities of leadership which an FFA member should possess. May we accomplish our purposes. I now declare this, the 96th New York State FFA Convention, duly open for the transaction of business or attention to any matters which may properly be presented.
Sitlali, are you ready to rumble?
I'm small, but don't underestimate me. I bet I can take you one-handed.
Bring it on. Here are the rules.
Nope, let's just go for
Wait,
it.
Sitlali. Before we start, are you sure that this is what we're supposed to be doing today? Showing our strength? I thought we were actually supposed to be giving strength.
You know what? That kind of makes more sense.
Giving strength can make us all better, but showing our strength would really only help the winner.
Exactly. When we learn to give one another strength, we can accomplish anything.
Just like the members who applied for their American degree.
We have the ag issues, talent, and the extemporaneous speaking showcases. Just think I was going to take you with no practice. That would have been a bad idea. However, I believe I could have.
Yeah, okay. Let's get back to business. We will find out who our 4th national chapter recipient is today.
Stay tuned for some more CDE LDE results coming soon.
We also have our state treasurer, Paige Warren, will be giving her retiring address.
Wait, you know what else is awesome about giving strength? It's completely free. It doesn't cost us anything to talk to our friends and let them know we're there for them.
I am so happy that we remembered we were supposed to be talking about giving strength today and not showing it.
I don't know if Phil could have survived the boxing round with me.
I'm not so sure about that, but what I am sure is that everyone should tune in to our session tonight to help recognize our members.
These next members have shown outstanding growth and leadership within their chosen SAE area. Please help us in welcoming these Proficiency Award finalists.
The members of this next proficiency area might have the most beautiful and colorful projects of all. Members who participate in the diversified horticulture proficiency can be found mowing lawns, designing floral arrangements, or even working in a greenhouse. Let's meet this year's gold ranking individual advancing to nationals. Riley Wolfinger from the Perry FFA chapter has one of the most colorful SAEs across the state. Her flower business, called Silver Lake Sunnies, sells sunflowers as single cut stems and bouquets of flowers at her roadside stand in Perry, New York. Since her SAE start, Riley has expanded her business to include arrangements for the holidays and other times throughout the year. She also has started having photography sessions with the field of flowers, allowing people to take pictures and enjoy the beauty of her project. With future goals of returning to her roadside stand business and her family dairy farm, it goes without saying that Riley's SAE has taught her some very relevant skills. Great job, Riley, and good luck at nationals! Old MacDonald wasn't the only farmer who knew how to care for a variety of animals on his farm. The members entered in the Diversified Livestock Production Proficiency area have SAEs that include the production and care of 2 or more livestock animals. Let's meet this year's finalists. Cale Howland, Walton FFA, Gold, 2nd place. Liberty Severs, Indian River FFA, Gold. Riley Quinn, Schuylerville FFA, Gold. Abigail Heitzman, Pioneer FFA, Silver. Adrian Lamora, Indian River FFA, Silver. Lindsay Wright, Delaware Academy FFA, Silver. Blake Sarpriacone, Unadilla Valley FFA, Silver. And the finalist representing New York FFA at the national level is Riley Quinn from the Schuylerville FFA chapter. Riley was 3 years old when he roped his first calf, and from there, he has spent just about every day in the barn caring for his animals. Riley grew up on his family's ranch, Winsome Ranch, where they raise 70 head of longhorn cattle and board and train 25 horses. On top of his responsibilities on the farm, Riley also holds weekly jackpots for area ropers in their indoor and outdoor arenas. Riley's rodeo career is also worthy of recognition, as even at the age of 11, Riley entered into the open division of a rodeo and won. In the future, you will most likely see Riley on the rodeo circuit and caring for his family's ranch. Great job, Riley! You'll be a standout at nationals. Love spending time in the outdoors? Enjoy learning about nature or observing plants and animals while on a hike? The members of the Environmental Science and Natural Resources Management category might be your kind of people. Let's meet this year's gold ranking finalists advancing to nationals. Jake Tobin from the Cazenovia Aggies FFA chapter. Have you ever heard about invasive species in your science or agriculture classes? Jake knows firsthand the effects of invasive species. Jake's project focused on removing European frogbit from the lake in his hometown. Over the past 3 years, Jake has put hundreds of miles on a canoe, removing this invasive species from the waters of Cazenovia Lake. By removing this invasive species, it allowed other natural plants in the area to grow in its place, including rushes and lily pads. Looking towards the future, Jake plans on entering into a career in marine biology and working within the environmental science field. Awesome work, Jake. New York is rooting for you at nationals. Secretariat, Seabiscuit, and Man-O-War are common names to these next individuals. Members in the equine science entrepreneurship proficiency area are experts not only in raising and caring for horses, but also know how to care for their own business. Let's meet this year's finalist. Chase Quinn from the Schuylerville FFA chapter, Gold, advancing to nationals. Being born into a horse-loving, rodeo-attending family, Chase's love for all things horses began when he was a toddler. Since that time, Chase has competed in over 100 rodeos across the eastern seaboard, and when not competing, he gives lessons to beginning ropers at his family's ranch, Win Some. With his years of experience, more responsibilities have been given to Chase, including dragging the indoor and outdoor arenas, working with the farrier to replace shoes and trim hooves, and vaccinating the horses. In the future, Chase hopes to attend college for animal science and stay involved in the rodeo circuit. Best of luck at nationals, Chase. What does it mean if you find a horseshoe? Some poor horse is walking around in his socks. The members in the equine science placement proficiency area are involved in all aspects of care and competition for horses. Our 2021 finalists are Jordan Wendt, Indian River FFA, Silver, 2nd place. Macy Dimon, Indian River FFA, Silver. Allison Peak, Schuylerville FFA, Gold. The member representing New York FFA at the National FFA Convention and Expo is Allison Peak from the Schuylerville FFA chapter. There's no horsing around with Allison's SAE. Having been around horses since she was 3 years old, her love for the equine industry grows each and every day. Allison volunteers her time at Lingering Hills Stables, a stable that cares for 60 Morgan horses in East Windsor, Connecticut. Allison also interns at Therapeutic Horses of Saratoga, where she desensitizes the animals and makes them comfortable with the facility. Allison is involved in responsibilities ranging from cleaning stalls, exercising the horses, desensitizing them for clients, and even helping with lessons for students. After high school, Allison hopes to pursue a career in equine science and stay within the industry. It sounds like you have a great project, Allison. We're cheering for you at nationals.
The next individuals have helped so many people along their way and have created countless links throughout their life. Please help us in recognizing our honorary Empire degree recipients. This next individual is no stranger when it comes to donating time, talent, and treasure to the FFA organization. Mr. Bob Taylor has been a longtime friend of the New York FFA Association, the Oswegatchie Educational Center, and local chapters, including the Stockbridge Valley FFA chapter. As a longtime supporter of the Stockbridge Valley program, Mr. Taylor can be found auctioneering at the chapter's alumni auction each year, donating sap from his maple trees to the chapter, and provides scholarship awards to the students at the annual Stockbridge Valley Banquet. Have you also ever wondered how the raffle tractor gets around the state? This is your man. Mr. Taylor has gladly taken the Foundations tractor thousands of miles across the state
every year, even hauling one to Long Island.
Bob was in the first FFA chapter that I had when I came to Stockbridge, and that was in 1970-71. He was in the FFA and he was a good member, and now he has continued to be just a faithful servant to FFA ag education in the state, in the local, and he just continues, and he's been very involved in hauling and helping to haul the prize tractors for the New York FFA Foundation tractor raffle. And we have pulled one all the way to Long Island last summer and got back, and so we've traveled thousands of miles.
Bob is always one of the first to volunteer at the local or state level to judge, help fix a sugar house, or clean up at Oswegatchie. It is easy to say that New York FFA would not be successful without his dedication to our association. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in thanking Mr. Bob Taylor as he receives the honorary Empire degree.
Our next chapter has gone above and beyond over the last year. Please help us in recognizing the next chapter as part of the National Chapter Award program.
The National Chapter Award recognizes an FFA's chapter's ability to plan and execute an effective program of activities. Groups that qualify for the National Chapter Award develop strong students, effective chapters, and engage communities with focuses on agriculture and leadership. They don't just excel at career development events or at community service. They do it all. This award honors our chapters that are dedicated to service and foster exemplary students. Each chapter does incredible things in their own way, and each chapter deserves recognition for their accomplishments. Encourage your chapter to apply. In fourth place, earning a Gold Standard Award, is the Pioneer FFA chapter. At Pioneer, members strive to be the best leaders they can in order to better build their communities and strengthen agriculture, which is an area this chapter excels in. To engage their community in chapter and agricultural events, the chapter went virtual for many activities. This ranged from using social media to posting trivia questions related to agriculture and FFA, holding their banquets on Facebook in order to involve the entire community and recognize outstanding members and agriculturalists. To recruit new members, Pioneer FFA hosted a great pumpkin challenge at their meeting. Supplied with a box of materials, the objective for each person was to prevent the pumpkin from breaking when dropped from 12 feet in the air. It was a smashing success. Congrats on your accomplishments. We wish you the best of luck at Nationals.
The American degree is the highest award an FFA member can receive. Please join us in recognizing our American degree candidates for all of their hard work.
As the highest degree available in the FFA Association, achieving the American degree shows a member's dedication to their chapter and state association. It demonstrates outstanding dedication to their SAE, their growth as a leader, and their community involvement throughout their FFA career. American FFA recipients show great promise for the future as they have gone above and beyond to achieve excellence. When awarded this degree, these students become a part of a highly esteemed group that makes up less than 1% of our national membership. The FFA members whose names are shown have truly poured their heart and soul into their SAEs and the FFA. We are beyond excited to witness these members receive national recognition at the FFA convention this fall. Congratulations to all American degree candidates. Timothy James, Afton FFA. Kaylee Reynolds Flynn, Burnox Westerlo FFA. Jenna Kibbe, Clymer FFA. Sean Karen, Delaware Academy FFA. Abigail Hatch, Fillmore FFA. Jillian Neves, Indian River FFA. Sabrina Thompson, Indian River FFA. Joseph Rudenberg, Otselic Valley FFA. Austin Sherman, Otselic Valley FFA. Alvaro Chavez, Penyan FFA. Jeanette Martins, Penyan FFA. Braden Weber, Penyan FFA. Patrick Fontaine, Pioneer FFA. Peyton Fontaine, Pioneer FFA. Stephanie Fiak, Pioneer FFA. Danielle Herrick, Pioneer FFA. Cameron Finch, Randolph FFA. Evan Liskow, Randolph FFA. Sarah Stewart, Randolph FFA. Alex Sipperly, Schoharie Valley FFA. Robert DeRoe, Schoharie Valley FFA. Terry Lansing, Schoharie Valley FFA. Josephine Allen, Sherman FFA. Gwen Chase, Sherman FFA. Emily Starseski, Sherman FFA. Megan Van Valkenburg, Sherman FFA. Emma Rogers, South Jefferson FFA. Emily Carey, Tri-Valley FFA. Megan Johnson, Whitman FFA. Jonathan Lasek, Whitman FFA. Morgan Smithling, Whitman FFA.
New York FFA has seen so much growth over the past year. Let's take a moment to recognize the chapters with the largest membership growth.
It has been nearly 100 years since New York FFA was founded, and there has been so much growth since we started out as the New York Association of Young Farmers Club in 1926. Today, we are so excited to recognize some chapters who have had exceptional membership.
Increasing chapter leadership and developing a stronger passion for agriculture are qualities that growing chapters will begin to see. These chapters are dedicated to spreading knowledge of the agricultural industry and to serving our organization. Through this growth, so many more students will become tomorrow's leaders.
Although this year has been tumultuous, we have continued to add new chapters to our state association. Through your hard work and dedication, we have only become a stronger organization. We continue to see interest from new communities around the state to bring agricultural education and FFA to their schools.
FFA members go through life living to serve. FFA is constantly encouraging members to give back to their communities. Through our chapter growth, we will have an opportunity to make a greater difference in the communities we come from.
The increase in chapter membership is due to the chapter leaders that stepped outside their comfort zones and built new connections. It's so inspiring to see students take advantage of all the opportunities that come their way.
Thank you to everyone who has worked towards increasing New York FFA's reach. Because of you, we have been able to grow and flourish as an association. Congratulations to the following chapters for having the highest % membership increase for the 2020-2021 year. Third place, Alba FFA. Second place, Avoca FFA. And first place, Hughes FFA. Congratulations.
In these next moments, we will hear a beautiful message on igniting your flame from our state treasurer, Paige Warren.
Since we were little, my sister has always had a love for agriculture, starting with our goats.
Paige's passions lie in FFA. She's always talking about the experiences she has and the people that she has met along the way.
She's always willing to lend a helping hand and be a role model for others.
Kindness reaches others' hearts not only with her words, but the actions that she acts out as well.
Her faith in the FFA and those around her inspires us all to be the best people we can be.
We are proud to introduce
my big sister
and my best friend, and your 2020-2021 New York State FFA Treasurer, Paige Warren.
Our generation has had some variation of one of these, from an infamous iPhone, maybe an Android, or even a flip phone. We all have one. And let me tell you, I cannot count the times that I've lost this thing. I vividly remember this one time I really thought my phone was gone. Like I was not going to find this thing again. Mind you, no one was home, so I couldn't ask anyone to call it, and honestly, I knew the ringer was off. So that really wasn't going to help me. But the biggest fear in my mind at the time was, oh no, I need to find this thing soon because my mom is going to kill me if she finds out I lost my phone. I started panicking because I might have left it at school and someone could have stolen it. I pretty much ran circles around my house looking for an object that really wasn't lost. When I finally calmed down, I took a deep breath and thought about the last time I had it. Then I remembered. I immediately ran to my room and frantically searched my bed. There, I found my phone under my pillow. I can confidently tell you that I have lost this thing multiple more times throughout my life. Just like our phone, or even our car keys, we can lose much more important things. I know, you're all thinking, my phone and my car keys are pretty important. And yes, I know they are, but there are still things even more important than those two things. Sometimes we lose our passion or drive, but that's why it's important to step back, reflect, and figure out what's important to us. We will ignite our flame by finding ways to motivate ourselves through our drive and determination. I know my animals have helped to thrust me into the field of agriculture. If you were to ask me what my favorite animal has been at any point in my life, I would immediately answer goats, more specifically Sonnens. My girl Sapphire has been at every show with me over the past 8 years, out of my 13 years of showing. My journey with goats started long before Sapphire. When I was about 6 years old, I was at my grandparents' house with my mom, dad, and brother. My parents had both agreed that they wanted to get goats. There was a local farm in the area that raised goats. My brother and I both got to pick out a goat for ourselves. The pens were full of babies at the time, but I only got to pick one. The first one to draw my attention was this doeling that was much smaller than the rest. She had floppy ears and was all black all over besides the white patch on her stomach and around her hoofs. I immediately knew this would be the goat I would pick. While my brother on the hand had picked a buck that was probably twice the size and all brown. In my opinion, he was boring, but whatever, it was his choice. I was at my grandparents' house, which was almost 4 hours away from where I lived, so we took the goats back to their house, and we kept them in totes in their kitchen. I named my doeling BB, short for Black Beauty. During the time I had BB at their house, I started to learn the process of raising a baby goat. I bottle fed her throughout the days and grew a connection with her. This picture is a picture of myself and BB at the time. But what I really wanted to talk to you about is the person behind the camera, the one seeing the story unfold. My Grampy was one of those people who lived his life behind a camera lens. He was always capturing moments around him, so it was rare to capture moments of him because he always had the camera in his hands or around his neck. Every time I would talk to my Grammy and Grampy on the phone, a key talking point would be about BB and how she was doing. My Grampy has always been a huge supporter of me and my brother's showing careers. In 2018, my Grampy attended the last show he would ever see me with my goats. I could tell he was struggling and was in pain, but he just wanted me to pay attention to what I needed to do at the show. About a week and a half later, my Grampy was diagnosed with stage 4 liver cancer that had already spread to other parts of his body. On September 10, 2018, my Grampy passed away. I'm not going to lie, seeing my goats and going to the barn to take care of them was hard, especially seeing BB. It took me a long time before I was able to really appreciate the connection they created between me and my grampy. My goats are a huge part of my life, and they remind me every day of what my grampy wanted for me: to be happy and successful in all my actions. It was the beginning of the school year when he passed away. I was really struggling, especially when it came to things I was passionate about, like my goats. School wasn't coming easy like it used to. My goats made me sad, and FFA was just another thing I had to show up for. Things that I loved were something I was struggling with doing. I was lost. At some point in our lives, we may find ourselves down a path in which we don't know what direction we are going or where we really are. We are lost. Sometimes it's hard to recognize that we are lost. We all get lost at some point in our lives. But the important thing is that we take the time to reflect on why we are lost and what we are missing so we can eventually get back on track. Let's stop and think for a few seconds. Is what you are doing with your life right now making you happy? If not, then why are you doing it? Is it for your parents or because your friends are doing it? We must find what makes us truly happy and do it for ourselves, not others. Maybe the things we are doing used to always bring us joy. Why is it not now? What changed? We need to make time once in a while to sit down and really reflect on where we are and where we want to be. So what are you going to do to help yourself? You have to have those conversations with your parents, advisors, coaches, or friends to explain to them that you are struggling with your passion. Maybe it's as simple as taking a short break to remind yourself why you fell in love with it in the first place. Or maybe you need to try something new or different. We cannot allow ourselves to shut down when we hit a fork in the road. Look at this past year, for example. We all struggled with being lost. We couldn't do our normal routine, we couldn't see friends or family, and our lives as a whole changed. We all wanted to shut down and hope things would change fast and soon. But they didn't. We had to find things to pull us back to ourselves and bring back our drive. This is not an easy task, and I'm not saying it will be either. But it is something we will continue to face throughout our lives. In 5th grade, I sat down and I wrote out my plans to become a state officer. First, I would become a chapter officer, then be on nominating committee for district president. Then in 10th grade, I would run to be district president and be on nominating committee for state office. Then, in 11th grade, I would run for state office. I had it all planned out to a T. But when the time came around to apply and run for district president, I was not doing too hot in some of my classes. I was failing trigonometry and not doing great in U.S. history. The contract I was about to sign to run specifically says you have to be passing with at least a 75 in all your classes. I had never failed a class before this, and I was letting it slide. I knew it was time for a change. I had to plan to do my work daily, go in for extra help every chance I got, and study for hours. My motivation didn't just come from me wanting to achieve my goals, but it also came from the fact that my mom was a district president when she was my age. I was hoping that by being elected district president, I would be even more connected with her. To me, not being district president was not an option. I had to pass my class because I was going to become a district president. Wanting to be a district president gave me motivation and brought back my spark that ignited my flame. Earlier, we took the first steps to finding out our passions to get back on track, but it doesn't end there. It's one thing to know what you're passionate about, but it's another thing to find that drive and determination to realize that passion. If you want it, you yourself have to achieve it. People may be able to support you, but they can't do the work for you. You have to take the test in class. You have to go through that interview process to become a state officer. You have to walk in the competition room and lay it all on the line while demonstrating your skills. These are all things you have to do for yourself because our flame will burn the brightest when we ignite it. We just need one spark to ignite our flame. So how will we do this? You must find what drives you. Is it competitions, the need to be successful, or maybe even the people around you? Whatever it may be, you must determine what drives you. I know that when I'm having an off day or really need a good boost for my drive, I do a few things. First, I have a playlist on my phone, and one song specifically I play over and over until I feel better. Fight Song by Rachel Platten always reminds me why I need to continue to push through the hard times because the good is somewhere. One part specifically does this for me. I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion. It reminds me that I have the power in my choices, actions, and decisions. On TikTok, there is this little girl named Scarlett, and her mom do daily affirmations together. Her mom says things like, "You are loved," "You are beautiful," or "You are smart." And Scarlett then recites them back, and at the end they always say, "And I'm going to have a great day." Since seeing the first TikTok of Scarlett and her mom, sometimes I partake in my own affirmations to remind myself that I can get through each day, one step at a time. We all need to figure out what works for us to make sure we have that determination to see things through. It takes only one action for our spark to ignite our flame. Find what will help you do this. We've all lost our passion for things at some point in our life, but if we recognize when that happens, then we can find the inspiration and determination to achieve our desires. Sometimes when the fuel that ignites our flame is missing, we don't feel like the best versions of ourselves. When we are struggling, it can be really hard to hold on to that hope and find joy in our lives. But we are stronger than our doubts. We have the ability to find our spark and ignite our flame. No one is going to do the hard work for you. We have to step up and do it for ourselves. No matter how dark the world may get, you have the tools and strength to find your spark. You have the power to ignite your flame. New York FFA members, advisors, parents, and guests, how will you achieve your passions and ignite your flame?
Paige, your love for shoes and retail therapy is something I will always admire and appreciate. Your enthusiasm and passion is infectious. Good luck next year. This year was not what we thought it would be. However, we made the best of it. We are all glad to have served with you. Although each of us are our own links, together we are the chain that cannot be broken. Love, Rosie, Sitlali, Austin, Phil, and Triana.
Communication, leadership, and teamwork are all things these members know about extremely well. Join me in welcoming this team to the Agricultural Issues Showcase.
On behalf of Schuylerville's Agricultural Education Program, we would like to welcome you to our animal science class. We've been learning about issues within the equine industry that directly impact our local, state, and national economies, as well as the animal science industry and agriculture overall. On behalf of our class, welcome.
As you finish up the bell ringer question, Sydney, will you read the question for us?
Sure. How much does the Saratoga racetrack generate economic revenue for our local communities?
Go ahead, Bailey.
Isn't it approximately 13 million? But obviously this year is different because of COVID.
Great job. It is estimated to be around 13 million each year, but we know this year it was a bit less than that. Specifically, this revenue is mostly generated from various taxes and New York Racing Association statutory payments to New York State entities. Taylor and Allie will be the first to present today with their presentation about the major visa issue facing the industry. But first, let's review what we had discussed yesterday. The Saratoga Racecourse opened in 1863 and is the longest continuously operating thoroughbred racetrack in the United States, and it's located less than 10 miles away from our school. Starting in mid-April, thoroughbred racing teams come to the Saratoga Racecourse to train and compete, and by June, 800 horses are in training at the track. During the height of the racing season in August, about 1,800 horses are present on site, along with thousands of owners, backstretch workers, and jockeys. The Saratoga Racecourse has higher daily and annual attendance than other nationally prominent thoroughbred tracks. On top of that, during the summer of 2020, the all sources handle, or the total amount of money bet, for the 2020 racing season was just over $702 million, while the entire racing industry in New York has an economic impact of $3 billion. Now, along with the track itself, Saratoga County is known for having several thoroughbred horse farms and producing many successful and well-known racehorses, including Funnyside, who was the first New York horse to ever win the Kentucky Derby and also won the Preakness. But what is really cool for us is that he was actually foaled at McMahon's Thoroughbreds, located right here in Schuylerville. Over the past couple of days, you guys have been researching issues that are facing our track. Allie and Taylor, are you guys ready to introduce your issue?
Absolutely. So when we first started looking at issues in the horse racing industry, we wanted to find something a little different. So that's when we started looking at who are typically hired as backstretch workers and what it's like being one.
So that's when we started looking at who are typically hired as backstretch workers and what it's like being one. That's when we realized that the horse racing industry here locally and across the entire United States has a huge labor issue that needs to be discussed.
We first wanted to give you guys a little background on what a backstretch worker is and what they do. The backstretch of a race course is considered an area near the racetrack where the horses are kept and cared for during the racing season. Backstretch workers are the individuals who are behind the scenes caring for the horses whenever they're not actually on the track. Now, the thing we didn't realize is that most backstretch workers aren't American-born workers. Instead, most are from other countries who have come here on a temporary visa program known as the H-2 program.
The H-2 visa program is a non-immigrant visa program that allows U.S. employers to bring people to the United States to fill temporary or seasonal jobs. The program is broken down into 3 categories, but we are going to focus on 2, the H-2A and the H-2B. First, the H-2A visa program is strictly for temporary agricultural workers. On the other hand, the H-2B visa program is meant to fill temporary non-agricultural positions.
Now, you would think that the backstretch workers would classify as H-2A, but they're actually considered as H-2B. So the problem with this is, unlike the H-2A program that doesn't have a set number of visas available, Congress has set the H-2B visa cap at 66,000 per fiscal year. This cap has actually become a huge concern within the horse racing industry because as trainers apply for H-2B visas for the upcoming racing season, they're actually getting denied due to the sheer volume of requests for these visas amongst all industries.
For example, in 2019, thoroughbred trainer Todd Pletcher, who has earned more than $372 million in career winnings, was actually denied the 50 H-2B visas he applied for, specifically for the 100 thoroughbreds he was bringing to Saratoga. The thoroughbred trainer George Weaver is another trainer who applies for 25 to 30 H-2B visas each year. Last year, none of his visas were approved as well. In total, there's typically about 1,100 workers most of whom are on the H-2B visas working on the backstretch in Saratoga each year.
Now, if trainers are unable to obtain workers to care for their horses at the track, how will Saratoga Racetrack or racetracks across the country continue to survive? So we want to turn it over to the class. Should the federal government reclassify and redefine what is considered an agricultural worker in the United States? Specifically, so backstretch workers could be included in the H-2A visa program.
Wow, Allie and Taylor, that was something I honestly wasn't even thinking about when we first started talking about equine and horse racing issues. So, I want to open it up to the class. What are your thoughts and opinions on this issue?
Personally, I think we should advocate for the reclassification of what an agricultural worker is so that equine trainers and owners can apply for and receive the H-2A visas that they need. We can't afford to put the racing industry in a position where we don't have enough workers to operate our tracks. Just here in Saratoga County, our local racetrack's impact within our local economy is estimated to be around $200 million annually. By reclassifying the meaning of an agricultural worker, we're allowing the horse racing industry easier access to a willing and able workforce that we absolutely can't lose.
Bailey, while I agree with you that we cannot afford to lose these workers, I have been following the issues with the H2 program through Farm Bureau. And after emailing with Lauren Williams, New York Farm Bureau's Associate Director of National Affairs, I stand with Farm Bureau and believe that we should encourage Congress to not redefine a word, but instead increase the cap annually and allow it to be reevaluated annually as needed. In 2019, a variety of industry employers applied for 97,800 non-agricultural visas within the first 5 minutes of the visa lottery. This actually crashed the Labor Department's website and proves the high demand for these workers among all industries. In 2007, over 135,000 H-2B visas were awarded. I don't see why we don't push for increasing the number of visas, especially when I don't consider these careers to be agricultural.
How do you not classify these as agricultural workers? This is the definition of having a career in animal science. I think that the United States should reclassify backstretch workers to be considered agricultural workers because they are an affordable source of labor that we need. On top of that, our unemployment rate stays around 3.8% but climbed up to 6.3% due to the pandemic. The reality is that those who are seeking jobs don't find these positions attractive because they want full-time work, not just work for a couple of weeks or months out of the year.
Do we classify caretakers of circus animals as agricultural positions? No, because the definition of agriculture is the science or practice of farming, specifically growing crops and raising animals to provide food, wool, and other products. If you consider the way we're using these animals, entertainment is not a product. Therefore, they are not agricultural. Also, if you don't think that we have people to fill these types of positions, I believe you're mistaken. Each year, when visas are denied, one of the biggest arguments is that owners don't know where they're going to be able to find experienced personnel to fill these positions. Just here in New York State, if horse owners reached out to colleges and universities such as SUNY Cobblescale and Morrisville State College, they would be able to have hundreds of qualified, experienced equestrians at their fingertips.
But that's the point. These positions don't require a high level of experience. You don't need a college degree or previous years of experience. Therefore, they are made to be low paying. If these positions started having to hire and then pay individuals with higher levels of experience, we would see an economic ripple effect within the racing industry. We could see less owners and trainers bringing horses to the track. Or we could see the prices of the experiences at the track increase.
But if we reclassify the backstretch workers as agricultural workers, we could also have a lot more individuals coming into our country only for track season at a much lower wage. Trainers and owners could end up filling positions that are commonly filled with American workers so that they could save money on paying employees.
But overall, the horse racing industry is just a small percentage of employers seeking H-2B visas for seasonal workers. In 2018, petitions for non-farm animal caretakers, which is where backstretch workers fall, were only 1.3% of total certified applications for H-2B workers, according to the Department of Labor. This is compared to industries like landscaping, which makes up 45.5%. By redefining what an agricultural worker is, we're opening up opportunities for the workforce that we need. At the same time, though, we could be opening doors for opportunities for other industries that we could easily argue are also agricultural.
That could be a major problem. If the government defined what an agricultural worker is, more industries could attach themselves to the argument that they too should be listed as agricultural. This could lead to the federal government placing a cap on the number of H-2A visas due to a possible severe increase in requested visas. This would be absolutely detrimental to the production agriculture industry.
Nick, put your phone away.
I'm sorry, Miss S., but I just Googled it, and Congress authorized the U.S. Department of Labor and the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services to increase the H-2B visa cap from 66,000 to 320,000 in 2020. So they tend to raise the cap each year anyway. So why are we even talking about this?
Well, you're kind of right. Congress authorized this to happen last June, right before racing season kicked off. Our previous presidential administration actually signed an executive order suspending the H-2B visa program in an effort to allow American workers to receive those positions. Therefore, even though they raised the cap, those visas actually weren't able to be used.
I also want to mention that in 2019, the Department of Homeland Security and the Department of Labor also made provisions to legislation so that they can increase the number of H-2B visas available, like they're trying to do right now. There are two major issues with this. First, by the time they actually increase the number, it's usually so late in the season that many traders and owners have to scramble to apply for visas and find workers. Additionally, under the provisions, the additional visas are only eligible to individuals who have been employed through the H-2B visa program in 2016, 2017, 2018, and now 2019. So if the individuals that you used during those years were already working for someone else or didn't want to return, you can't seek new help.
Exactly. I don't agree that increasing the cap is a great answer to this issue. Say the government increases the cap this year and maybe for the next 3 to 5 years as well. But by 2026, the racing industry could be facing the same exact struggle it is today because they could decide to lower the cap once again. I just don't think that raising the cap is a viable long-term solution.
So guys, the discussion has been absolutely great today, but the bell is going to ring soon, so I do want to wrap things up so we can continue this conversation tomorrow. Throughout the class, I've been recording some of the points from both sides of this issue. Allie, would you highlight 3 points that were made in class in favor of reclassification?
I think the 3 that really stick out to me are the reclassification would allow the horse racing industry easier access to a larger and more affordable workforce. And if applications are denied, we could see less trainers and owners bringing horses to tracks and or see a track expenses increase. And backstretch workers are seasonal in a small population of people that would come.
Taylor, would you share some of your classmates' points against this?
For me, the most notable ones are that we could just once again raise the cap on the number of H-2B visas. College and university students offer the experience to serve in positions that are needed, and more industries could request being classified as agricultural too.
Those are great points, girls. Thank you so much. We'll pick up this conversation later. Class dismissed.
30 minutes to write a speech and memorize it? This student takes speaking to the next level. Please help me in welcoming the extemporaneous public speaking winner that will go on and represent New York FFA at Nationals.
Hi everyone, I am Sarah Cox. I am a junior from Warsaw FFA, and my topic for today is we have seen tremendous strides in the technology advancement in production agriculture as it relates to crops. What advancements have I seen in impacting the animal side of agriculture. Now, one thing that I've noticed involving technology in agriculture is it's everywhere. You pretty much cannot do anything without knowing the part of the technology that impacts it, whether that's on a dairy farm, a beef farm, a hog farm. Pretty much any sort of farm involving animals uses some sort of technology to either track their records, see the feed that they're either putting out or consuming, tractors, the feed pushers. Technology is everywhere. Now, I'm going to focus on a dairy farm today because I work on a dairy farm and I know the most about it. And I want to let you all know what I have seen the most just within the times that I have spent on the dairy farm. Now, the first thing when I come in to work on my dairy farm that I see within the technology is we have a system that tracks all of the cows and sees their activity for the day. It sees how much feed they take in. It sees if they're drinking water, their temperature, and we do that through collars. Now, the collars that we use are called Moo Monitors Plus from Dairy Master. We find them, they're very efficient. You just slip them right on their necks and you can track any cow in the barn. You can see where she goes. You can see if she's been laying down for 6 hours or 2 hours. You can see if she has been up eating food or laying down or drinking water, everything like that. And that has helped us just to make sure that our animals are staying happy and healthy. And we want to make sure that that stays our number one goal. So using that technology to our benefit is very important. Now, the next thing that we go on to is milking cows. Now, we do not have robotic milkers, but many farms are gearing towards using robotic milkers, as studies have shown that they help to improve efficiency on the farm, where it comes to you don't have to use employees and they can be doing other things on the farm, but it also helps with milk production. It's been shown that robotic milkers, especially ones that cows can go to whenever they want, like the De Laval VMS V300, it's been shown that cows, if they can go get milked whenever they want, their production increases in only a short amount of time. And you can do that through technology. The amount of technology that is involved in just the robotic milkers is very high. You can track everything that's happening just from a simple app on your phone, but you can also see it from within the machine itself. It uses lasers to find the teats. And then after that, it uses a system that has been inputted onto the computer to know what cow that is. So if it is only being milked on 3 teats, if she has an antibiotic in her system and her milk needs to be flushed, you can tell that through the computer system that is being used constantly in the robotic milker. Now we have the feed aspect of a dairy farm. You are always wanting to make sure that your cows are eating, and that can be thrown onto the tractor and equipment side or just the actual side. The Lely Juno is what we use to make sure that our feed is constantly being pushed up to our cows. If your cow doesn't have feed, she's not going to eat, which means she's going to produce less milk. And we want to make sure that because our cows are always getting feed, that we want to make sure it's good quality. And the Juno can help us just to see that and make sure that our cows are always having feed pushed up to them. And then lastly, for what we use on specifically my farm, we have the moo call calving sensors. Those are attached to the tail head of the cow, and that helps just so that you know when your calf is coming. It alerts you so that in the future, you don't miss any calves. If there's a cow that you think might have an issue, you can come and help her or observe. And that just helps to make sure that either the injury rates on calvings stay down or anything like that. But aside from that, technology really is everywhere on a dairy farm, whether that comes from the gate systems, or just the simple apps that you can put on your phone. There are so many apps for tracking your cows and everything like that, that it's really important that we stay up to date on technology. Now, technology might be a little expensive in the beginning, but it has been proving itself time and time again that it's helping farmers to stay more efficient and to be able to do better things with their herd when it comes to production levels. So while technology may be scary, it's definitely not something you should shy away from in any aspect, because I think it's truly going to help improve the dairy community and the agricultural community in a general aspect.
Hello, New York FFA. I am so excited to be able to share with you some of the CDE and LD results. Let's get started. For senior extemporaneous speaking, in 6th place, Thomas Cans, Warwick Valley. In 5th place, Brett Perry, Granville FFA. In 4th place, Hunter Hoffman, Indian River FFA. In 3rd place, Maya Lefebvre, Stockbridge Valley FFA. In 2nd place, Evie Schultz, Medina FFA. And in 1st place, Sarah Cox, Warsaw FFA. In Ag Issues. In 6th place, Southern Cayuga. In 5th place, Perry FFA. In 4th place, Greenville FFA. In 3rd place, Tully FFA. In 2nd place, Royalton Heartland FFA. In 1st place, Schuylerville FFA. And in Ag Sales. In 10th place, Ryan Ward, Pioneer FFA. In 9th place, Timothy Blessey, Springville FFA. In 8th place, Holly Neifergold, Springville FFA. In 7th place, Brett Blessey, Springville FFA. In 6th place, Evan Sidhu, Pavilion FFA. In 5th place, Amelia Hind Shrub, Springville FFA. In 4th place, Carly Putt, Pioneer FFA. In 3rd place, McGuire Inslee, Pioneer FFA. In 2nd place, Evelyn Northup, Pavilion FFA. In 1st place, Ella Manurong, Pavilion FFA. In our team results, in 3rd place, Pioneer FFA. 2nd place, Springville FFA. 1st place, Pavilion FFA. Aquaculture. Individual results. In 10th place, Griffin Lansing, Schoharie Valley, Team A. In 9th place, Nephili Motammed, John Bound, Team 1. 8th place, Caden Severs, Indian River FFA. 7th place, Nathan Jones, Indian River FFA. In 6th place, Julian Gonzalez, John Bound, Team 2. In 5th place, Zachary Parrott, Schoharie Valley, Team B. In 4th place, Patrick Loveland, Indian River FFA. In 3rd place, Tyler Coelho, John Bound, Team 2. In 2nd place, Rebecca Styrenbach, John Bound, Team 2. In 1st place, Alex Booth, Indian River FFA. Now for team results. In 3rd place, John Bound, Team 1. In 2nd place, John Bound, Team 2. And in 1st place, Indian River FFA, Junior Tool ID. And in 10th place, Nathan Kunal, Schoharie Valley B. 9th place, James Little, Schoharie Valley E. And in 8th place, Will Long, Tully FFA. In 7th place, Megan Weisbrot, Tully FFA. In 6th place, Brock Plungus, Mount Markham, Blue 1. In 5th place, Dalton Oliver, Schoharie Valley, Team C. In 4th place, Justin Gilio, Ryan Bergen, Team Blue. In 3rd place, Jacob Dowry, Schoharie Valley, Team E. In 2nd place, Jillian Kennedy, Schoharie Valley, Team F. And in 1st place, Ella Hall, Tully FFA, Junior Tool ID, Team Results. And in 3rd place, Briar Bergen, Team Blue. And in 2nd place, Tully FFA. Finally, in 1st place, Schoharie Valley, Team F. Congratulations to all of those who have participated. Keep it up and stay tuned for the rest of convention.
All of the members we recognized during this session are so good at what they do. I'm sure they have a great circle of friends that give them strength all the time.
How about those 3 chapters that increased their membership by 776%?
And the members who showcase their amazing talent.
I agree, but I'm sure it's not just their friends they draw support from, though. I know that whenever I need strength, I lean back on some quotes that I have found strength in ever since I was a kid.
You know what, Phil? I do the same thing too. I bet that a lot of our FFA members have some quotes they can always find inspiration in.
I wish that there was some way that we could see all of our members' favorite quotes.
I have an idea. Why don't we do a social media challenge?
That is such a good idea, Sitlali.
All right, this is what we'll do. We'll post a picture accompanied by our favorite quote that gives us strength and #PowerUp, along with tagging NYS FFA so that we can see the uplifting quotes that our members love.
I can't wait to see all of these awesome quotes. Thank you all for joining us, and be sure to tune in tomorrow for an introduction to our National Officer candidate, along with so much more.
And don't forget to be the link.
Madam Secretary, do you have a record of any further business which should now be transacted?
I have none, Mr. President.
Does any member know of any new or unfinished business which should properly become before this meeting? We are about to adjourn this, the 4th general session of the 96th New York State FFA Convention. As we mingle with others, let's be diligent in labor, just in our dealings, courteous to everyone, and above all, honest and fair in the game of life. Fellow members and guests, please join me in a salute to our flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. I now declare this meeting adjourned.